All right, so Notre Dame just did it. They beat the number one team in the country. They beat Clemson. I really can't believe it. I'm in pure disbelief, pure shock right now. This is going to be a pretty raw video. I really am kind of at a loss for words, to be totally honest with you. I've grown up as a Notre Dame fan my whole entire life. I'm 26 years old, born and raised in South Bend, so love the Irish. My family's had season tickets ever since I was a little kid, so I've been going to these games my whole life. Unfortunately, this year, not able to go to any of the games because of the COVID, but still loyally been watching all the games on TV. So that's been nice to still be able to enjoy the games and watch them with my family at home. But I can't believe they did it. This is the biggest win in my life. Every time that I've seen Notre Dame play in a big game in my lifetime, they've choked. And that's not to say that I don't love Notre Dame and that I'm not a big fan of theirs, but the big games that come to mind are Notre Dame versus USC back in 2005. The Bush push. I was there in person, watched it happen. I thought we were going to win that game, and that one was kind of taken away from us at the end there due to a blown call. But it is what it is. Another one that comes to mind is National Championship 2012. Bama showed up, gave us a pretty good spanking on that one, and then. Ironically enough, Clemson in 2018 when they beat us 30-3 in the college playoff game a couple years ago. So for Notre Dame to win this game is just crazy. I could not have imagined anything like it. It's just purely shocking to me to watch it happen. So right now, the way I would say I think it affects college football rankings. This was made before the rankings come out the next day, so this is Saturday night around midnight. But my prediction for what they would be is Alabama will move up to number 1. I think Notre Dame should move up to number 2. They should hop ahead of Ohio State simply for the fact of Ohio State's 3-0, and they've played Rutgers, they've played Penn State, who's 0-3 at this point, and they've also played. I think it was Nebraska was the other team they played. So, they're 3-0. They look like a really good team. They're definitely in the top 4, in my opinion. Just at the moment, I think that Notre Dame is a more complete team. They have a better resume. We just beat the number 1 team in the country. We're 7-0, so therefore I put Notre Dame at number 2 in the college rankings. I would put Ohio State at 3 simply for the fact of, as I mentioned, they look like a very good football team. They have the second best quarterback in the whole country, Justin Fields, who's lighting it up, looking like he's going to have a really good chance to win the Heisman this season. And 4th, I would put Clemson, simply for the fact of they were just the number 1 team. They lost to the number 4 team, so I don't feel that they should be penalized that drastically. And we have to keep in mind here that Clemson was not healthy tonight. They were missing their star quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Their backup quarterback did a phenomenal job tonight. Kudos to him. He put up about, I think, 430 passing yards off the top of my head and 3 or 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, no turnovers on his part. So he played a really good game, put up a really clean game, did everything he could on his end. So it's not his fault at all that they lost. Also on the defensive side of the ball, Clemson was missing about 3 players. I think 2 linebackers and 1 defensive tackle or 1 defensive end. So Clemson was missing some key pieces tonight, but nonetheless, Notre Dame did manage to get the job done. I imagine these 2 teams are going to rematch in the ACC championship in a couple months here. And I'm very, very curious to see how Notre Dame and Clemson can play, assuming that Trevor Lawrence is back running things for Clemson by that time, and that Clemson has those other couple players that were missing back tonight as well. So just wanted to kind of give my thoughts, give my opinions, and just kind of give some raw thoughts and emotions and just kind of tell you what I thought about Notre Dame winning, because as I mentioned, I'm a lifelong Notre Dame fan, and I just can't believe it. I almost can't believe what I saw, but I'm happy. Go Irish. Hope they win the rest of the season. I really am rooting for them to make the top 4 this year, so we'll see what happens.